Let's lay this one down right here. Well, I'm a clean-cut kid, you know, I keep my tattoos hid.
Kind of grew up not being the cool kid. And at some point I had to develop my own sense of confidence. And believe me, there's a lot of people that think that I'm arrogant. But I kind of feel like, you know, some of the songs, if you're arrogant but you can back it up, well then it's not really arrogant, you know? And I've always wanted something better. I couldn't afford it and I made it happen. And then in making it happen, every time you make something happen that somebody told you couldn't do, your confidence grows. I try to keep it even traditional with the tools. I get more enjoyment out of building a 30 or 40s model car with 30 or 40 models tools. It just kind of makes you feel like you're kind of back there when it was really happening. And some of it is better quality. I mean, nobody would argue that lead is not superior to Bondo. So we do a lot of gas welding, and we make a lot of our own parts. And just like in the 50s, you didn't have everything ordered out of a magazine, you know, so we're not a parts, you know, bolt-on company. We actually make it like they would have back then. It takes a lot of talent to make a grill out of doorknobs or push buttons. I kind of just don't think we really have an overall style. We're kind of traditionally based, you know, kind of in that. I don't do the trend. I follow a few traditions because I just like the way that they look and I like that style of car. But as far as the lifestyle or the trying to look 1950, you know, my cars kind of speak for that. And in the weird way is clean shaven and no tattoos represents 50 a little more than this new, I don't know what you would call it, this kind of a punk era of, you know, fully tatted, which I have no problem with all that. It's just, that's just not my style. And basically, like with my little heroes is George Barris wasn't tattooed all up and down. He might have had one, but it was hidden. And that was just the social acceptance of 1950 also. Nobody had big beards back then. You know, after Abraham Lincoln, it kind of went, you know, clean shaven. So you know, I guess the irony is that I guess I am kind of 1950. Struggles of being in Red Banks, Mississippi is customer perception, is that if you're in a small shop in a small town that you can't do what the big guys do in the big city in California or Arizona or wherever else they're from. That's really not true. That's really how I got really honed in on my machine skills, is because when you get certain kits that you order and then it comes and it's missing one of those weird shank-headed bolts, you can't just run down here to the hardware store that, you know, carries tack and feed and get some crazy Allen head bolt that, you know, they bought from wherever. You either got to make it or delete it. Yeah, the difference between this shop and other shops, there's two different kinds. You know, you have your collision shops, which aren't primarily based around customs. The products that they have on their shelves are for collision. They are some of the lowest and most economical products on the shelf. A lot of the stuff that I get railroaded or that we choose to make is stuff that you can't get off of the shelf. And that's why it entices me and that's why I love it. That's why I love building the oddball cars. The reason why people bring it to me is because a few of them have realized that the body shops are meant to get you back on the road. We are meant to build you something beautiful. We really actually try to build art. scared. I am as nervous about being famous as I am about going broke. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be that guy that, you know, I'm standing up front smiling and waving, shaking hands while 30 other guys are out back building your car. I feel like that, you know, for me, I enjoy building a car. If I make it successful, I'm hiring a salesman. I'm going to stay in the back and work. He can sell them. I would love to be a household name. I made that joke the other day that I would love to be the, what do they call it, the standard, the bar or whatever. It's when somebody rides up and be like, man, that car's cool. Yeah, but it ain't Lonnie Johnson cool. It ain't CPC cool. You know, like Barris. There's guys that aren't even into cars and kind of know who Barris is. I would love to be half of that.
Some folks been telling me that you Memphis boys a little rough.